Get it.
I'm healing you.
I don't know what I'm doing.
No let and wait to. I'm healing you. What's this? What's this? Wow. Did you make mommy proud?
That's a good
You
question.
make mommy proud. You better apologize
She
to
has
her.
no words for mommy. I'm
Yeah,
just
painkiller.
Who are these
Nice
guys?
one. That will enter. Yeah, painkiller. So anybody who is in pain,
Wow.
link up with the painkiller.
Okay.
Chee. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a full show today, packed with fresh energy. We have a painkiller in the house. And of course, fresh conversations. Welcome to Take 3 on News Central TV, your go-to spot for everything entertainment, culture, and the stories everybody is talking about. Yes, from celebrity debates to viral throwbacks and movie premiere moments. Today's lineup is blazing. She's hot. Also, our guest today, we're going to be taking us through the directing eyes of Nollywood and how storytelling can be made original. Yeah, because that's what we always say. Now, stay tuned. You won't want to miss a second of the show. I'm Adewale, the voice of God. Over to the beautiful painkiller.
I love it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. On the other hand, our hot topic today, ex-users are not letting Simi's neck off their hands anytime soon.
Chai.
And things are really getting more choked up. Old tweets from the power couple, Adekunle Gold and Simi Kosoko, have been dug out. New revelations are coming out, and the internet is having a huge day. But we will unpack why everyone suddenly has receipts. My name is Kate Adiogun, your Nexus host. So whether you're here for the hot takes, the trending debates, or the inspiration to chase something extraordinary, this is Take 3.
And since social media worked overtime last weekend, we stepped out to attend the premiere for Better or Worse, which went down on Friday. And of course, no better than the married man to go and do that kind of work.
Wow.
The glitz, the glam, and fashion statements were well represented, and we've got the full package ready for you. Of course, I'm Sam Dandy. But remember, you're a part of the show as well. Join us at News Central Television across all platforms. We're live on YouTube, and you can, of course, send your thoughts via WhatsApp. The number is right there on your screen. Now, let's kick things off with E-News.
Painkiller.
On entertainment news, Nigerian singer Simi has addressed backlash after an old tweet of 2012 resurfaced online, sparking controversy over comments she made while helping at her mother's daycare at the time. The tweets, which some social media users interpreted as inappropriate, began circulating shortly after Simi publicly condemned rape in a separate online conversation. In response, the singer clarified that she was 23 years old, living with her mother and assisting at the daycare while pursuing her music career. She insisted her posts were taken out of context, stating that nothing she shared was rooted in perversion and that her words have been twisted. Amid the growing debate, the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, released a statement stating it is ready to investigate any disturbing allegations involving the daycare if formal complaints or evidence are presented. The development has fueled wider conversations about social media accountability, context, and child protection standards. Afrobeat superstar Asake has officially emerged as the most streamed artist of all time on Spotify Nigeria as the streaming platform marks its 5-year anniversary in the country. Spotify's all-time rankings show Asake topping a list dominated by Nigerian heavyweights ahead of Wizkid, Shay Vibes, Burna Boy, and Davido, underscoring his sustained dominance in the digital music era. Music star Peter Okoye has admitted that he was co-signatory on the company account linked to the P-Square music duo amid ongoing allegations over the alleged misappropriation of $1 million. Reports say Okoye confirmed his signatory status while addressing claims tied to financial transactions involving the company's funds, though details about how the funds were used remain under scrutiny. The case has attracted public attention because of P-Square's influential legacy in Nigerian music. The upcoming 2026 Met Gala, led by global icon Beyoncé, has announced its official theme, Fashion is Art. Organizers say the theme will spotlight the deep connection between fashion designs and artistic expression, celebrating creativity that blurs boundaries between style and fine art. The announcement has already generated excitement across both the fashion world and pop culture circles as insiders begin begin imagining the looks and the statements that will define the highly anticipated event. Pop superstar Taylor Swift has tied Rihanna's record for the most Billboard Hot 100's #1 hits this century, following the chart success of her single Opalite. The achievement underscores Swift's enduring commercial dominance and consistency on mainstream charts, solidifying her status among the most successful artists of her generation. Rapper Lil Durk's highly anticipated Murder for Hire trial has been rescheduled and is now expected to begin in August 2026. According to court filings, the postponement allows additional time for legal preparations and pre-trial motions. Durk, who has pleaded not guilty, continues to deny the charges. The case remains one of the most closely watched legal matters in hip-hop, drawing intense coverage due to the severity of the allegations and the artist's profile. That's all on entertainment news.
Welcome back, guys. You're still watching Take 3 on New Central Television. My name is Kate Adiogun. Sam Dandy is here, and aka the voice of God is here
It's a
as
full
well.
squad.
And we have a beautiful guest in the studio. But hold up, let's dive into the conversation for today. Nigerian singer Simi has broken her silence after old social media posts resurfaced online, sparking a fresh wave of backlash and controversy across social media platforms this week. Now, the renewed attention to these historical posts triggered emotional reactions and sharp criticism from users who saw the content as insensitive or inappropriate. In response, Simi addressed critics on social media, clarifying her intentions, explaining the context around her past posts, and emphasizing that her advocacy has always been rooted in empathy and awareness. She strongly pushed back against what she described as selective digging and distortion of her words. Of course, reactions from fans and observers have been mixed, some pointing to a long history of socially conscious music and activism, others insisting that public figures must be held accountable for content that they have shared, even if it is 10 years later. There are also calls from groups like NAPTIP for evidence and formal investigations over alleged misconduct at the daycare that was mentioned in the post. But today, we are analyzing deeper into this one from both the PR and legal standpoint. And we have two experts with us here to break it down as it is our tradition on Take 3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Kafilat Salisu, the delectable Kaka.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for being here. And of course, Olumide Oluayeni. Thank you for joining us on the show, Olumide. All right, so Sam, where do
the
we
matter
begin?
chop hot. Should we really start this? So
go.
I guess I want to start with you, Kaka. When old posts like this come back, what? Because I mean, we saw the reactions, right? How do you handle this? Because I mean, it is Simi's post, right? Does it mean she's different? She didn't say those things. What do we make of it?
So I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at this from two perspectives, right?
Okay.
So recklessness, number one. People forget digital footprint regardless. And then two, you're working at a different time. So we're culturally and emotionally sensitive. There is an ongoing gender war online.
Right.
So it's more of a case that she's honestly just being the scapegoat at the moment.
Scapegoats, wow.
At the moment. It also doesn't mean she's right or she didn't do anything wrong. From all indication, it is morally wrong at every point in time. But again, it's just that once you step out to speak about something, you should always remember if your archive is
Clean.
It's
You know, I
clean.
was going to say that because I thought about it yesterday, and I'm like, if you have a strong point right now, a strong hold on any issue right now, people will go and examine your consistency.
Yeah,
now, how have you been, talking about
Are you
these
the right
things in the
person
past?
for
Are you the
this?
right person to talk about it? And I think that's the downside of influence or being popular. Scrutiny is like one major thing if you're popular. That's interesting. But Olumide, you're here with us. From a legal standpoint, can resurfaced tweets from over a decade ago constitute grounds for investigation if no formal complaint was made at that time?
All right. Thank you for that question. Yeah, basically, starting from the legal standpoint, tweets from the past can actually be scrutinized basically and see the intent. Basically, investigation can be taken into tweets that you had made previously at any time, because it's criminally bound, especially when it's criminally bound. You understand? As against civil rights, civil cases, or civil issues where they are statute banned. So in the case of this case of Simi's tweets, the tweets were from 2012, right? And then they are alleging to sexual exploitation of a child. In any case, just like the NAPTIP has not rightly done to establish an investigation against Simi over a tweet that she had released in 2012. That tells you how important we need to be careful as generally entertainers, or even as people, especially in digital age right now, understanding that our digital footprints are very important, and you don't just release statements loosely. So from the legal point, yes, you can actually go back into raising an investigation if perhaps whatever the allegations are right, and then you can, in any case, hold her liable for any of these things. In any case, if there are, first of all, any victims or witnesses to come out to say whether or not they were victims of our actions in accordance to our tweets.
I like that. So, yes, it's good that you clarified that, because I like the last part you said, people who were probably victims or people come out with evidence to the case. Now, let me make reference to what happened, and let me speak to Kaka from a PR standpoint, because this blew up and it was a frenzy on social media, and people were really waiting for a public address, what Simi had to say regarding the situation. And she came out and she said what she said. Now, people have an issue or have issues with what she said. Now, from a PR standpoint, do you think she did the right thing in addressing it that way, or should she have left it for her team or something? What would have happened? What would have been the best way to go about this in response sake?
In that situation and the climate at which what is happening, there's nothing she's going to say that is ever going to be right. That's like from the public perspective, and people who are ready to, you know what, we're going to fight this to the end. But from her response, there was a tone of defensiveness and emotions. And those are like the two wrong triggers, because now you're triggering the people who are going to come after you from that angle. So in that case, you're honestly just meant to go silent and let your team handle it. You shouldn't have. That's not a situation where we need you to speak. You can come later because we want you to speak, but in that heat of the moment, the last thing you want to do is defensiveness and emotions.
You know, I just want to follow up with this, because people would say that it's best to come out and clear the air. So that if you are silent, it feels like you are consenting to what people are saying. So probably she did that because she wanted to clear the air and she wanted to paint the right narrative picture for people. So how was that really wrong for her to do?
Like I said, there's no right or wrong situation in whatever it is that she would have said at that point in time. You are going to get backlash for it, regardless.
Wow.
So if it was a team, if it was her, if it was just the team, it would just have been a little bit more manageable in a way. But that's why I tell people to listen to like the climate and the ecosystem of what is happening. Because even when she had not said anything, she still had people defending her. Yes. Right? So that is what you sort of lean into a little bit. Because this is not a battle you want to go in alone. Yeah. So you need people to actually speak for you. Like I said, whatever it is that she would have, if she came out crying, rolling on the floor, nobody is going to hear you at the end of the day. It's a case of time, and it's a case of, again, remember the climate at which what is happening is happening. That is a very huge force to what is happening. Those tweets have been there from like 2012. Yes. Why didn't we find it emotionally wrong at the time? So when we look at it then and now, you're better off just not saying too much. You can actually say, but just don't say too much. Like I said, emotion and defensiveness are the two things you do not want to portray.
You know, it's funny I'm laughing about this, even though there's nothing funny about the matter. But I think it was interesting when you talked about, even if she had cried, that the reaction will still be what it is. And I'm reminded of many times the celebrities have come out in the heat of crazy things they're going through personally, and it just is not enough. Whether it was, you know, whether it was Tiwa Savage crying, we just laughed about it, you know. And I want to ask from a legal perspective as well, because we always say innocent until proven guilty, right? And I'm just wondering, Olumide, Is this one of those cases where you can say innocent until proven guilty? Because, I mean, I know that there are these tweets, but again, there are no victims, you know? And the bad part about this for celebrities is you might start to lose deals, start to lose fans, start to lose money.
Immediate consequences.
So, immediate consequences. So I'm saying, how do you align with innocent until proven guilty in a case like this, Olumide? Where do you go from without losing these deals, hopefully?
All right. In cases like this, regardless of the emotions or the whatever people think, first of all, for this particular case, the threshold is high, right? As regards holding a criminally liable in any case. So the criminal law basically looks at your intent, first of all, and then the action. So before you can hold a criminal liable. So we need to know for some of those tweets, what was her intention at the time she made those tweets, and what was the actions that matched the tweets to hold a criminal liable for whether sexual exploitation of a child or sexual abuse of child under the Child Rights Act in any case. So as much as the emotions are high, regardless, what the law will still take is due course and do proper investigation to be able to hold her accountable as to the actions that were purported in that tweet, whether it was made loosely, jokingly, or she actually did make those tweets in tandem with the actions at the time with children at the mother's daycare. So we need to be very careful as to this just points to us just generally being careful as to what we say. But in any case, as regards this particular matter, the threshold is actually very high. You know, in able to hold her criminal liable as regards this.
Okay, Olumide, this next question is about people who are supporting Simi with regards to this situation now. Because you're saying, oh, some of these things are taken out of context. She didn't mean it that way. So if statements are taken out of context, does that amount to defamation in any way? And do we have some legal remedies available for these type of situations?
All right. So the question is whether or not whatever it is she has said, do you have people that should support her and say that, oh, yeah, it was taken out of context? I don't think that anybody should, especially a sensitive matter like this, should necessarily be standing behind anybody or whatnot. But yes, that's general public. But as regards defamation, not necessarily, because yes, in any case, some of the tweets that you've seen or some of the statements people have made as to just being allegedly, do you understand? People are trying to want to play it safe and use the word allegedly, or whether or not those tweets actually meant that, do you understand? So we cannot, until whatever it is that she meant in that tweet, until the investigation is properly taken as to the intent of that tweet, that she made those tweets, people are not wrong to have actually taken those tweets for what they meant. Do you understand? Because for some of the statements made there, they were quietly wrong and morally wrong in any case. And so, from the moral standpoint, people coming at her saying, "Oh yeah, you really shouldn't have been saying this," or being intimate with children, or assuming or alluring to the fact that you want to kiss a 4-year-old child or children at the daycare. Those statements are actually generally wrong, morally wrong, right? And they're now coming on the criminal side or legal standpoint. You're trying to look at whether or not you can hold her liable for these actions in tandem with what the provisions of the Child Rights Act provides, and whether or not she was sexually abusing these children or not. So also as legal remedies for this, in any case, if those statements were purportedly to damage our character or our reputation in public, yes, obviously she can explore that such means to say, oh, somebody made a defamatory statement against me as tweets that I put out in 2012, years ago, right, against and they're purporting that I sexually abused a child. But in any case, there's no evidence against or for that. And so what Snaptip has done, and so we can only rely on whatever investigation is being put in place to see the end of this matter.
All right. This is quite interesting because we decided to have this conversation to look at it on the broader scale, given the fact that a lot of people are handling this emotionally. Like you said, there's a lot of emotional undertone with the judgment and that people have regarding this. But again, as we see our celebrities come online, they are humans, like they always say. But how can celebrities protect themselves from situations like this? Because maybe when they posted that, they were still on the streets.
They were poor.
They were still hustling.
They didn't have...
now they're big, and it is now come back to haunt them. So how can celebrities try and, keep themselves safe from situations like this?
So let's even just deal with it as individuals, right? As a person, you never really know where your career is going to take you, or whatever that would even be for your private life. Whatever it is that you're putting online, please you don't have to put everything that you think in your head, first of all. Let that even just die. And
Twitter users, ex-users.
X especially.
Whether it's celebrity or not.
Yes.
And two, why this is so bad for Simi's image is because this is supposedly a good girl. When we look at it from a branding perspective and a persona, right? So this is two different worlds. There are certain people who would have tweeted that and they'll be like, please, what is that new? We're not.
Are we surprised?
Yeah. So this is a shock factor. This is a dent to our image and brand overall. So the moment you choose a brand that you're going with, right, whatever, this is where you sit down with a professional. So when people talk about branding, they talk about how they would make money. They don't look at the negative side of how you would lose that money. So you should have sat down, your entire team should have done a digital sweep
on your past.
On your past, present,
Wow.
future. Remember I talked about media training, right? Media training is just not telling you what to do at the time. There are some people that at some point, when something is happening, they're always on edge. And I'm sure their team told them, please, the last thing you need to do is go online. Do you understand? So when we're talking about branding, PR, and having a publicist in your team, this is exactly what it is. It's not just, oh, let me get the brand deals, let my next album blow. It's for things like this. So whether you're a celebrity now, you're not, be careful of what it is that you have done. And if you are branding yourself a certain persona, be aware of the other side of what that would look like and what you've done in your past. Well, digitally, there's little to know that you can sort of, because you never even know who was taking screenshots and archiving all of these things.
At the time.
But regardless, go back from day one and clean.
Wow.
Even your
That's the only
comments.
thing. Yeah.
And not just what you post.
Wow.
Your comments on other people's posts as well.
Be
It's
less-
important.
If you look at Hollywood, there are certain people that, a lot of things are traceable.
Yes.
You would not find anything.
So they intentionally went back to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Sounds like a cover-up to me, because people can change. People evolve. Who knows something that we say now in a few years, it's a different climate.
So that is you as a person, right? Not, you cannot tell somebody who does not live with you day to day how to feel. What they are going by is what you have put out.
Wow.
Do you understand? So even the image that we had, it was more of a married, homely, even down to our songs. Our songs are never provocative in a way. Do you understand? So it's you that are singing Duduke and you're talking about a 4-year-old.
How do they align?
Do you understand? So even if you've changed, that's your own personal business. But for the public, whatever is public facing, you have to ensure that it's on par at every point in time.
I like that.
Wow.
I like that. Olumide, are you there? Are you still there with us? We'll just okay. Because now that everybody has become judge and jury online, everybody says you cannot, you should not. How did she? How could she? I just want to know: can these online, sides and judgments affect or influence the actual legal process or proceedings that can probably take place in this case? Would this social media frenzy, influence it in any way?
Just to answer that question simply, not necessarily. No comment from social media can affect what would take place in the in court. Basically, in any case, the law will take its due course, right? Investigations would go on as they should rightly be do, and in no way would comments from people online would affect whatever it is the judicial process would be like. Do you understand? Because the legal process in prosecuting in criminal cases are totally different from our emotions of people online, or how we feel, or even our morals, basically, as people. Do you understand? That is morally wrong does not mean that it is criminally wrong in any case. Do you understand? Great. Like I rightly said, the threshold for this particular case is high. So two things need to be established: our intent and the actions. Like they must both be in tandem with whatever the tweets are, the purported tweets are, regardless of how bad they look. In any case, they need to be able to tie our intent and our action to those tweets.
Well, I feel like we're going to keep going, and we're not going to stop about this. Hopefully, I can do a sweep too. But Olumide, thank you so much for spending time with us. Of course, Kaka as well. We all have that one social media application we run to for relief, gist, comedy, and even makes us stay up at night.
Right.
You're guilty, right? I think it is safe to say that there's just that one app we might be addicted to for fun. But our own Labaika was out to get public responses on their most used app. So before we take it to the streets right here, Kate and Adewa, which is your most used app?
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram.
Thank God, none of you said TikTok. Are you Gen Z?
Oh, TikTok.
Kaka, I have to ask Kaka, of course.
Instagram.
Instagram. Wow. We're all Instagram people.
Yeah.
No Snapchat. Nobody does that. No
Instagram it is.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry to those who use Facebook. We're gonna of course watch this and we'll come back.
What a shame.
Hi guys, Labaika here, and we're out on the street of Lagos for another exciting episode of Word on the Street. I know I'll do it on the show, right? We give you a pulse of what people are saying, and we'll give it to you fresh, undiluted, and unbiased. It's about to be a fun-packed one. Let's get right into it. Okay, so what are your favorites, your Mount Rushmore of apps? What are your favorite top 3 apps that you can't do without?
Okay, I can't do without TikTok, WhatsApp, that's my business, and then Instagram. So I wish I can just gain more followers on TikTok so I can bring my business online also. So
if you had to live with only one app throughout your life, just one app that you can use throughout your life, what would that app be and why?
I prefer TikTok because I think people sell online now and it's very, very okay.
My top 3 apps will be Instagram, Twitter, then TikTok.
What's that thing that does it for you on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok?
I think information. When you're looking for any information, you go to Twitter. When you're looking for maybe any skate, any movie, new music, Instagram is there. Then TikTok, just for cruise, comedy, skate, and everything.
TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the drama and the content and those different.
So you be open on trends on TikTok?
Yeah.
TikTok, number 1. TikTok. I enjoy watching making use of TikTok because it keeps me happy, it makes me lively and entertained.
What about Instagram and Twitter?
I'm not a fan of Twitter, but Instagram, yeah.
Twitter, Instagram, and WhatsApp. Yeah.
Why do they stand out for you? Why do you like them so much?
Instagram gives people platform to showcase their crafts, what they do. Twitter, you get latest news. WhatsApp, your community, your contacts. Yeah.
So if you're limited to use only one app throughout your life, what app would that be?
Yeah, Instagram all day.
Number 1 is WhatsApp. That one, now daily, sure you understand. Then we have TikTok. Once you're bored, you can easily go down there, and Instagram as well.
If you are, limited to using only one app throughout your life from now, what app would that be?
TikTok. Because for someone like me, who's a musician, you intend to publicize what you do.
I like Snap, I like Instagram, I like TikTok. WhatsApp is just because of work. If not, I don't know what I'm doing on WhatsApp anyways. Trust me, if you are depressed, just go on TikTok. Just that these days, TikTok has this sort of algorithm. They know what you're going through, and then they tend to bring those sort of things. But sometimes when I just want to unwind, I go on TikTok just to laugh off, whatever is going on. Snap, I have most of my friends on Snap. It's just, I don't know, Gen Z.
It's been an amazing time on Word on the Street today, and I can tell you for sure that we brought it to you unfiltered, unbiased, and fresh. And one thing for sure that the takes are definitely us, but those are definitely not our thoughts. That's the thoughts of the people on the streets here. I'm Basil Labaika. I'll see you on the next one.
All right, welcome back. We're still here. It's still Take 3, and we're still talking about the biggest conversations in entertainment. Yes. Wait, I'll just ask this question. Have you checked the app you are using? Have you gone to sweep it? Because not that tomorrow now your president will now bring out tweets that you said something about.
We like the drama.
Okay. Go and sweep. All right. Today on the show, we're joined by a globally acclaimed filmmaker known for telling powerful stories as well, socially conscious stories that spark conversations and challenge perspective. Yes, we'll be exploring how film can go beyond entertainment to becoming a force for social change. And joining us with a Take 3 welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kachi Benson.
Yeah, that look like, okay.
You're like, yeah. Kachi, good to have you on the show.
Good to have you on the show.
Yes, we're happy to have you on Take 3. Yes, we are here.
Yeah, it was an E-Central before.
It was an E-Central before.
It's a revamp.
And it's a revamp. But the last time we talked about Madhu and the incredible work that they had done.
Yes.
Now I think let's go back to, telling socially conscious stories. You know, at what point did that become important to you? Because I mean, you could tell any films. You could tell about any story. It could be love, it could be comedy, and those are raking box office numbers. You know, so why these more socially conscious stories?
I mean, I think any story has that socially. You could make it have a socially conscious slant. So any story that I pick on, I'm always asking myself, okay, so why should anyone care about this story? Why should I even care about this story?
Right.
You know, so I have to figure out what's the angle that is close to my personal ethos, my personal philosophy. You know, about using film for good, using film for change. So once you're able to understand the hack.
I like that. Understand the hack.
So because with the follow-up to the question, the fact that you make these kind of movies, because people would say you go into the business to make money, right? And like you said, we have a lot of our Nigerian film industry. We're focused on love, trailer,
a lot of
romance, and things like those that bring in the money. Do films like what you produce, do they really bring in that kind of money that they say, okay, yeah, it's good, I'm all right? Yeah, but what kind of money are we talking about?
Well, Funke Akindele box office, $1 billion. I get Timini's film in a weekend, hit over 100 million. So I'm just thinking,
185 right now.
Does it do that?
Does that really?
I'm
happy for them. No, but I think that it's also about your personal definitions of success. And contentment and all that kind of stuff, right? So I just wanna, have a fairly decent life, leave an inheritance for my kids, just, be okay.
I like that he said very decent, and he's Emmy winning, like on an Emmy winning project, it seems more than decent to me.
You know what's interesting about that is the fact that, okay, so you make a film that is supposed to be like, socially conscious and it's serious, whatever, but then it goes on to do that well.
Right.
You understand? So most times, I think, in my opinion, from my personal experience, it's about pursuing what's important, and then the other things will, I guess, naturally come along as part of it, and that, in a way, also elevates your value as a filmmaker as well, because now, okay, so when someone is talking to you as a filmmaker, or you won an Emmy, well, it kind of changes the conversations in terms of, okay, what you can charge for as a director and all that. So it kind of adds up in the end, just in the end. Pursue what's important.
It brings me to the Bible verse that seek ye first the kingdom of God and every other thing will be added unto you.
I like that.
I thought you were going to say that to Yoruba.
Stop! I'll try later.
She does.
But Kachi, can you maybe share a product of yours where you saw real world impacts, after the release?
Oh, I mean, well, we know what happened with Madu and what's happening with the kid and how his life has really just transformed, from the streets of Ajangbadi to, the stage in England. That's great. My new film, Mothers of Chibok, is also one that I think is one of the best examples of how films can lead to change. Because we've been working with the women and on their farms, their farmers, and seeing how we can collaborate with them to increase their yield, so that they can earn more, right? We have off-takers and people who are very excited to partner with them and take their produce, which is groundnuts, and transform them into finished products. Yeah. So when we have the premiere, it's gonna be incredible. I don't want to spill the beans.
We can't wait.
It's gonna be you're gonna see stuff that's gonna really blow your mind. Oh wow, okay, we didn't know this was possible.
Yeah.
And that for me is what when you talk about real world change, where you can intentionally take a story of tragedy and turn it into a story of resilience and courage and hope that really inspires people. I think that's great, yeah.
I want to add this because, this is incredible what you do. But at the same time, with everything, even when it's really good, there are challenges. What are some of the challenges, especially creating stories, for change that we're talking about? Are there more investors willing to invest in these sorts of stories as opposed to other stories? What are some of the challenges you've personally faced?
Well, in the beginning, so it tends to get easier.
Okay.
But you have to prove a point, right? You have to show that, okay, this can actually work, right? Or you are bankable, or they can invest in you,
invest good money.
Exactly. But
your early days are very lonely days.
I like that.
I mean.
You do? I don't want to be lonely.
Well, I mean, because you start at the point where nobody believes what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it applies to pretty much everything.
True.
You know, even in music, as cool as it is, you know, how many artists will tell you that, oh, the day I started singing, my dad said, bravo, let's go to the studio, let me pay. No, it's usually a very lonely journey, but you owe it to yourself if you believe in it to continue to hone your craft and do it in the best way possible. Because the moment you start to prove everybody wrong, and everybody wants to be your guy.
True.
You know, everybody wants to invest in you. Everybody wants to associate with you. Everybody wants to, you know, be aligned with what you're doing. So it's not that it's never easy to be a documentary filmmaker.
Right.
But it's not as tough as it was a few years ago.
Okay,
Amen.
So, Kachi, I'm a bit puzzled because we've had film directors and filmmakers come on the show, and we're always talking about the comparison of Afrobeats and the film industry, right? While Afrobeats were getting international awards and things like that, right? And Nollywood as it is, we
can't get an Oscar.
We don't get that.
Wow.
But again, then brings me to this point. You make documentary films that have gotten awards and international recognition. So is it that Nollywood is not putting the right stories into the films that we're making for us to get the international, you know, recognition and awards that we're supposed to get?
I'm going to be cheeky here.
Okay.
Because when I heard that, I'm like, okay, it's about to go down.
No. Listen, man, I don't know. But I'll be like, yo, listen, let's all just start making docs, you know? Let's make documentaries.
So we can get an Emmy, maybe.
But on a serious note, I think that it's, I don't know what the formula is. I put my heart into what I do, and I try to do it as best as I can. I don't know what the parameters for judging narratives are, and if those parameters are different for judging factual films. But I do know that, you know, with the work that we do, whether it's with the Disney original, Madu, that we made, or with Mothers of Chibok, I try to push myself and my team to like extreme lengths of in the pursuit of excellence. Like it's extreme. Like you know, I mean, Mothers of Chibok took me 3 years to make.
3 years?
Yes.
Okay,
right?
now I see.
Yeah, we spent a year in post-production.
Wow.
You know, so when you drive yourself that hard, the music, I had to speak to Cobham. I spent maybe like 3 or 4 months convincing him that, okay, look, man, I want you to be the one to make the music.
Right.
So there was, every step of the way, there was no compromise, you know, and I think that that's something that not very many people, you know, or very many of us practice.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of reasons for that. You know, there's also just like, if you don't have enough money, you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know, but we are fortunate that we've created systems within our own sort of like ecosystem where we're able to take certain kinds of risks, make certain kinds of moves. Something is not working, we try something different. And I think I've been blessed to have like the best producers that any filmmaker could ask for. I say, this is what I want, and they tell me, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Great. So which means we should stop making films in 2 weeks and putting it out.
You know, I was going to say that.
wow.
But which is crazy. Isn't that the same problem Afrobeats is maybe now facing? That every now and then everyone wants to drop a new song every single week.
Every AK Market Day.
Your body that by.
But I mean, after talking about excellence that goes into creating these documentaries, I'm thinking to myself, at the end of the day, you want people to watch it, as many people as possible. You know, and I'm asking, because is the industry really friendly with pushing distribution of these sorts of films that are talking about social issues?
Right.
And is there the platform to, you know, to properly push them that anybody can see it?
Well, I mean, like, for instance, Mothers of Chibok is a documentary film and is being distributed now by Film One. It's going to be in the cinemas.
Okay.
As the first time a documentary.
First time?
Yeah, exactly. That would get, that's sort of like widely distributed, to the best of my knowledge, you know. So there is support, and sometimes it can come from the most unexpected places, right? But, you know, I've said this multiple times, that I really hope that this becomes a catalyst because we are such a diverse country. We have so many young people with different tastes, and there's no reason why our theater experiences, right, shouldn't be diverse.
True.
Right? Not everybody wants to watch a comedy.
True.
Not everybody wants to watch an action film.
Yeah.
Not every day do we want to watch a serious film either. But there are days where you feel like, you know what, I want to go watch Mothers of Chibok. Let me even know what that story is about. And I walk into a cinema with my friends and we can watch it. You know, these kinds of films should also be able to benefit from the communal experience of being in a theater. So I'm really, really happy that, you know, this is happening. It was a shot in the dark. I just hit them up. I was like, guys, look, I've got this film and it's a docu. I want to put it in the cinemas, man. What's possible? Let's go. And they hit me up and I'm like, yeah, we want to try
Wow.
That's really
Shout out to them, honestly.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I mean, just like you
Bravo.
said, I know that documentaries don't usually get theatrical runs like that. So seeing this happening, I'm like, okay, that's a good one.
Right.
But for Mothers of Chibok, since we're talking about filmmaking as a tool for social change, why did you think it was important to tell the story from the angle you're telling it from?
Right.
Because usually you probably see it from a sensational angle,
Right.
but you're telling it from the mother's side, their resilience, their endurance, and you know all of that. Why did you think it was important to tell it from that side of the story?
Well, I think it's important to tell that side of the story because, you know, unfortunately, this is a community and a group of people, a group of mothers, humans, that have been reduced to a headline. You don't know them.
Yeah.
You can't tell me anything about them.
True.
You understand what I mean? And I think that's a great disservice to a people who have lived with a trauma for over a decade, and we still don't know them. That's you know. So it was very important for me that we try to show these women for who they are, their totality, the totality of their experience.
Yeah.
Think about this, you know, when Boko Haram, you know, in sort of like, I guess they say literal translation means, you know, Western education is forbidden, right? You would think that after their daughters were kidnapped, right, they would maybe stop sending their kids to school. But here's what's, you know, in the last 10 years, 12 years, they haven't stopped sending their kids to school. And nobody stopped. We're not telling that story.
That's
quiet defiance
True.
in the face of terror.
True.
And
Yeah.
saying, I'm not going to back down. I'm not going to be broken. That's a story that dignifies them. So we're not saying we're ignoring the tragedy that happened or we're burying our heads in the sand, but we're saying, hey, look, there's more to these people than this. They're multidimensional beings. So this mono story that we've been telling for the last 12 years doesn't do anybody any good.
Right.
True. Great stuff.
You know,
Wow.
now
I can't wait, actually.
honestly,
I'm like, can we move it to tomorrow already?
See it now because
we got to be there at the premiere of the
Yes.
show.
You have
I
to.
can't
you
wait
have
to see
You
it now
have to.
because of the
I mean,
angles.
I'm gonna
Like you said, you
definitely
asked a
get
very,
it.
important question. You said, do we know them?
And we don't.
We don't. Yeah.
Really?
Exactly.
You know, I want to maybe be a little silly because as much as we're excited to watch it, a part of my mind tells me, how can we get more people to want to see this? Besides the way that we always do, which is post dancing videos on Instagram. So everybody's doing BTS.
Are you going to
and
do
I'm thinking, are we going to get them to dance along Z first? You know,
So do you dance to promote?
so I'll tell you a funny story. This morning we're going to like a radio station for like and then, you know, my assistant says to me, oh, I was trying to come out of the car and says, oh no, sir, wait 1 second. I'm like, what? He said, oh, the PR guy said that, you know, we should film you while you're coming out of the car. I'm like, what did you not tell him? what did you tell him that I was going to say? He said, I know you're going to say no. I said, okay, so why are you telling me about it?
No dancing then.
What do you mean? Look, different strokes for different folks. Who knows? Maybe one day.
Maybe.
I don't know what.
Never say never,
I don't know
right?
what project that would be.
Yeah.
And I would be dancing in a video to make people come watch. But I think that this is one of those. It's a story of it's joy, it's pain, it's resilience. It's also a lot of quiet reflection. So it's a different kind of story.
Yeah.
And what I always say is that, you know, if you're someone who's concerned about Nigeria, you know, who loves storytelling, and you're interested in wanting to find out what really happened, who are these people, who are these people that this thing happened to, right? If you're that kind of person, this is the kind of story for you.
Yeah.
And we're so glad that we got, you know, an amazing, I think the best decision, one of the best decisions that I made was to have Auntie Joke Silva come on board as an executive producer for the film. She's been like, you know, there's something about having a mother champion a film about mothers.
Yes. It hits different.
Do you get what I mean?
That's a good one.
And then also the film, So like I said, it's about intentionality in anything you do.
Yeah.
So the film was edited by women. Yeah, it was intentional for me. And I had to make sure it was 2 mothers that edited the film. You know, because yes, as a man, I was given that privilege. They opened their hearts and their doors to me to come in. But I felt that in the crafting of the story in post,
you have to see it from the eyes.
Yes, I wanted to get mothers to help me shape the story. You know, and those were, I think, were really good decisions that I made, and you know, here we are.
Amazing, amazing, wow.
I can't wait. I really can't wait to see, but definitely, Kachi, we will see again. Film.
Sure. And maybe we'll figure out how we can get you guys tickets or whatever.
Yes, please. I really want to know this women. Like I said, do you know them?
In my mind,
and they'll be there live.
That makes it even cooler.
And we'll be there live.
We'll be there live too.
Yes. I want to add something else. Maybe an Oscar award. You know, something big.
Listen, man. The most important award is that we've done this for the women. They've seen the film. Great. They told me
it was good.
Thank you.
Thank
for portraying us with dignity. That for me, we're good.
That is the highest accolade you can get.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Thank you.
Stuff.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, Kachi, for coming through, ladies and gentlemen. You see, when they say tough story that we impact, not the one that you shoot in 2 weeks, you ready to put it outside.
Let me cha.
Don't drag
there's a market for that.
Oh,
there is.
So please,
no
guys,
problem.
You know?
Okay.
No problem.
Thank you so much for
take us to
coming.
our event, Jari.
We gotta go, okay?
We gotta go.
But of course, over the weekend, I did go out to enjoy a little bit of something, all right? For better or for worse, the movie, I liked it, but I'm not gonna talk too much. Let's find out how that went. From the team and I, this is goodbye. Till tomorrow.
Goodbye.
See you guys tomorrow.
Hi guys, Sam Daddy out here, super excited. We're of course at the private screening of a brand new film. Now this one's called For Better or Worse. And this one has, of course, household names like Blossom, Chukwujeku. I'm talking Lydia Lawrence Nze, and it's a film by Jay Blaze. Now what they say is, this is a film that's going to be about the complexity of marriage. Makes sense. That's why it's called For Better or Worse. Let's find out how fans are feeling, and let's get into it. I think your outfit might be my favorite outfit of the night.
Oh, thank you.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited for Lydia and For Better for Worse and all the crew, everyone, everyone that is part of this movie.
Do you believe in love?
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, if I do not believe in love, I wouldn't be married 12 years now.
Are you a fan of love?
I am. I'm a lover girl.
I love love, yes. Well, I do believe in love. Aww, she's like...
I'm married, I believe in love.
I think it's self-explanatory. In good times and in bad times, you still stay correct, you still stay, stand by your person. Yeah, so I think that's what it stands for.
So for me, I think it's about communication, commitment. Two individuals finding a balance is really tough. It can be difficult. There are times when things would happen, but as much as possible, the prayer is for it to happen. So we pray God comes in, a prayerful family, and it should be fine.
This one is titled For Better or Worse. What are your predictions? And plus this is Blossom too. Come on.
I mean, it's already given a marriage story vibe, and that's one of my best movies ever. It's intense, it's drama, it's beautiful storytelling. The performance was great, top notch.
The world would be in shambles without love. It will be on fire without love. If there was no love at all, I don't think the world will exist at all anymore. So love is very important. But the truth is, the understanding of what love truly is important, and God is love. That's really it.
Can you predict what you're gonna get from this one, For Better or Worse?
Honestly, I don't know. I haven't seen not a teaser, not a trailer, so I really don't know what to expect. So my expectations are high, of course, but my mind is open to anything.
A lot of people are breaking up now. I don't know what's going on, but for me, for better or worse, I find the right person though.
Let me ask you to rate. I know you're a huge part of Nollywood, but rate the industry on a scale of 1 to 10. How is it doing as of 2026?
Oh my God, we're doing 100.
In the past, I would not have been able to give you any number, but today I will give them an 8.
I don't want to be biased.
Okay.
I would give us a 6.
7 over 10. I'm not a movie person, but now I would say that they are not that bad, so I can say 7 over 10.
For real. Because we're definitely better than Z-Word, Bollywood, and the rest of them.
Honestly, we're doing fantastic. The stories are getting better, production quality is better, sound design is amazing, actors are not even joking, collaborations are happening. I mean, it can only get better and better and better, but right now we're doing fantastic work.
I think on our own we've done a lot. We've built a lot of different bridges across board, you know, but I mean, by the time private sector, public sector comes together, you can only imagine what we'll become. I mean, at the end of the day, Nigeria is the giant of Africa.
I gotta be honest, it's no doubt that Nollywood is getting bigger and better. Today we've had a lot of fun, and hey, let's talk about the film, can we? Incredible cast, great storytelling, and if this is 2026, I can only imagine what 2030 looks like. My name is Sam Dandy.
My name is Larry Da Silva. I'm a fashion designer.
My name is Udo Abong Patrick. I'm a film director.
My name is Noreen Nahita. I'm an actress.
My name is Obehi Abureme. I am a Nollywood actor.
My name is Carlo Oluchi Angel of Angels Glam.
Keep watching News Central.
News Central.
News Central.
News Central.
Keep watching News Central TV.